In a small village, there lived a man named Raj, who was born into a poor family. Raj's family consisted of just him and his wife, and they lived in a modest house. Struggling to make ends meet, Raj worked as a laborer, doing whatever jobs he could find to feed himself and his wife. Over time, Raj's wife became pregnant. Hearing this news brought him great joy, and he began to dream of the future, imagining a small child playing in their home. He thought, soon, our house would be filled with the laughter of a little one. However, life had other plans that Raj was completely unaware of. As time passed, the day finally arrived when Raj's wife was about to give birth. Raj was very excited. He took his wife to the hospital, and as she was being admitted, Raj realized that he needed to arrange some money for the expenses. Leaving his wife in the care of the hospital staff, he set out to find the funds. On his way back, Raj was hit in a terrible accident and died on the spot. While his body was being cremated by the villagers, his wife was giving birth to a baby boy in the hospital. When the news of Raj's death reached his wife, her world shattered. She was left to fend for herself, grieving over the death of her husband while holding her newborn baby in her arms. The woman wept uncontrollably, questioning God. Why did you take my husband away from me? What will I do now? How will I raise this child on my own? Her grief was overwhelming, as her husband had been her only support in the world. Some of the villagers tried to comfort her, reminding her that birth and death are in God's hands and that no one can escape destiny. What has happened cannot be changed, they said. But you must now focus on your child and the new life that has come into your home. With time, the woman gathered her strength, realizing that she had no one to rely on but herself. She took up work as a cleaner in other people's homes, doing whatever job she could find. With the little money she earned, she was able to take care of her baby boy. Though her life was filled with hardships, she never gave up. Slowly but surely, her child began to grow. When the boy turned 5, she enrolled him in the village's government school. She had a dream that her son would one day be educated and never have to beg or struggle the way she had. The boy, understanding the sacrifices his mother was making, studied diligently. He knew that his father had died before he was born and that his mother was his only source of support. Years went by, and the boy reached the age of 14. Around this time, his mother's health began to decline. Initially, she thought it was just a minor illness and didn't pay much attention to it. However, her condition worsened, and soon she was unable to go to work. The family had very little money, and it became clear that she couldn't afford proper medical treatment. Seeing his mother so ill, the boy became very worried. He told her, "Don't worry, I'll go to the doctor and bring you medicine. You'll be better soon." His words filled his mother's eyes with tears. She replied, "Son, there is no need for you to go anywhere. My time has come. I want to go and be with your father now. But before I go, I want you to promise me something. Always live with dignity. Never beg from anyone. Work hard for everything you need, and never lower your self-respect." The boy promised his mother that he would always live by her words. He left the house to fetch medicine for her, but by the time he returned, his mother had passed away. Grief-stricken, the boy arranged for her last rites with the help of the villagers. Now completely alone, he stood at a crossroads. He had no parents, no siblings, and no support from his extended family. But he remembered his mother's words and resolved to never beg from anyone. The boy continued to work odd jobs, tending fields or working at the local tea shop, to earn a living. With the little money he made, he managed to pay for his schooling and basic needs. Despite all the hardships he faced, he never gave up on his education. He worked during the day and studied at night, determined to make something of himself. As the boy grew older, he realized that his small village could no longer provide the education he needed. So, when he finished his basic schooling, he moved to the city to pursue higher education. In the city, life was even harder. He had to find work to pay for his studies and cover his living expenses. He would often go without food for days, but he never lost sight of his goal. One day, after a long day of searching for work and finding none, Boy returned to his small room, exhausted and hungry. He had no money left for food, and his situation seemed hopeless. Lying in bed, he thought about begging for food, but remembered his mother's advice: never beg. The boy struggled with his thoughts, wondering how he would survive without food or money. The next day, he went out again, determined to find work. But luck was not on his side. By the end of the day, he was weak with hunger. He thought to himself, how will I survive if I don't eat? Maybe I should just ask for help. But deep down, he knew that begging was not an option. He reminded himself of his mother's words once more and decided that asking for help was different from begging. He found the courage to approach a large house on the outskirts of the village. He knocked on the door, and a kind woman answered. She saw the hunger and sadness in the boy's eyes and asked, "What do you need, son? How can I help you?" The boy, swallowing his pride, said, "I am thirsty. May I have a glass of water?" The woman, who was a mother herself, immediately understood the boy's situation. She invited him inside and brought him not just water, but a glass of milk and some food as well. The boy, grateful beyond words, accepted the food and ate quietly, feeling the warmth of the woman's kindness. After finishing the meal, he said, "Thank you, ma'am. I asked for water, and you gave me milk and food. How can I ever repay you?" The woman smiled and said, "Son, I gave you food because you needed it, not because I expect something in return. But if you truly want to repay me, then promise me this: one day, when you are able, help someone else in need, just as I have helped you." The boy promised, and from that day forward, he carried the memory of the woman's kindness with him wherever he went. He worked harder, completed his education, and eventually became a successful businessman. Over the years, he never forgot the woman's kindness and made it his mission to help others in need. Through his determination, resilience, and the kindness of strangers, he built a foundation to support children from poor families, ensuring they had food, shelter, and education. His story became an inspiration to many, proving that hard work, perseverance, and kindness can change a person's life forever.